And we're done. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Don't mind me, I was just resetting my watch because Todd McFarlane has once again appeared to remind us that the Spawn movie is definitely going to still happen at some point, but we still don't really know when. You know the drill by now, right? At least once every year for the last decade or so, Todd McFarlane has kept popping up to say that a second Spawn movie is definitely happening somehow at some point, definitely soon. And he always hits the same talking points. The new movie will be a hard R horror drama. It'll focus on a pair of side characters and Spawn will hardly be in it. He's going to be heavily involved in the process. Spawn is just as relevant today as he was in the 90s. You know the whole thing by now. And yet, every time he comes up and says it, nothing ever comes of it. For a brief time, it looked like something might come from it because he did apparently start to formulate a deal with Blumhouse, a studio known for low-budget horror movies, but apparently that's fallen through now too. And now he's talking about getting independent finances and making the movie independently on his own. Look, on the one hand, I do understand that this must be incredibly frustrating for him because he has been trying to get this character into another movie and it just hasn't been happening. But at the same time, come on, man. How much longer are you gonna try? I genuinely do not believe a Spawn movie is ever going to happen. There's just no possible way at this point. Clearly the studios aren't interested in McFarlane's vision. Otherwise, there would have been something done. I mean, sure, a lot of people these days consider him to be the poster boy for everything wrong with 90s comics, but he's still got a fan base. And hey, movies have been made of far more obscure characters to great success. So, you would think a Spawn movie would have happened at some point. I mean, other than the one they originally made. I'm talking about this new one, the one McFarlane keeps insisting is still happening. I think it'll come as a surprise to no one that Todd McFarlane is probably not the sort who's going to compromise on his artistic vision. I mean, he left his job at Marvel Comics and formed his own company because of that. So, he's probably really sticking to his guns with what he wants the Spawn movie to be. And if I had to guess, that's the primary reason that so many studios eventually just say, thanks but no thanks. Otherwise, maybe a Spawn movie might have gotten made by now, but he wants it to be very specific. And I just don't think that's going to happen. First of all, there's the fact that he barely wants Spawn to be in the movie at all. Interesting concept, the way he describes it, to have Spawn be more of a presence lurking in the background. But at the same time, how exactly do you market that kind of movie? And how do you make it something fans will like? We've seen plenty of movies in the past where the title character has barely been in it and it hasn't been very well received. Marvel's Man-Thing, for example, the one I did a review of, that barely had Man-Thing in it. It was terrible. That was just one of the many things wrong with it. Also, there's the complaint about not enough screen time for Godzilla in the 2014 film that I've become so well acquainted with. You know the drill. There's this idea of, sure, it sounds intriguing to have Spawn be more of a presence than an active character in the film, but is it really the sort of thing that would be accepted? The studios certainly don't seem to think so. Then, of course, there's the whole R-rated thing, and I know what some of you are going to say. But Omni, Joker was a huge success. Doesn't that give Spawn more of a chance? To which my two responses are, one, you mean like how Deadpool and Logan were supposedly going to open the door for more R-rated comic book movies? And second, this is Spawn we're talking about. Joker, by proxy, is a Batman movie. Yes, Batman's not in it, but it's a Batman character, it's got that connection. It was always going to be successful, even without the incredible controversy that surrounded it, that wound up amounting to absolutely nothing. Spawn is a bit more of a risk, and McFarlane says that the studios don't want to take risks, they want a sure thing, and he's not wrong, certainly, but the studios do take certain risks, that's the thing. They'll take risks that have a good probability of paying off. They make a comic book movie based on an obscure character. Well, if you emphasize the brand and the fact that it's part of a larger universe, that has a better chance of being successful. Spawn, on the other hand, just doesn't have the clout he had back in the 90s, so yeah, making a movie based on him is kind of a risk, but at the same time, so is making a movie about a character that's not even going to be in it all that much. I'm getting the feeling that a Spawn movie just isn't going to happen. Like I said, we were close this last time, but apparently even that's fallen through now. I'm at a point where I have decided that until we actually get a trailer and a release date at the same time, I'm not gonna believe that a Spawn movie is ever happening again. We got the one back in the 90s, and that's pretty much it, and we're never gonna get one again, unless by some sort of miracle the stars do align and everything does fall into place and Todd McFarlane does get to have his way. But even then, is it gonna be good? Well, Spawn's reputation isn't what it used to be, like I said. Either way, if you're a Spawn fan, my advice would be, don't hold your breath, assuming you haven't already suffocated. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer signing off. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, as well as subscribe to the channel for more content of a similar nature. Also, check the description for links to our Twitter, DeviantArt, and Patreon pages, as well as the Amazon link for the novel Operation Red Dragon: The Daikaiju Wars Part 1, penned by yours truly. Thank you all, and we appreciate your support.